Big games coming to Game Pass in September. Looks like another Nintendo Direct will also be happening in the next couple of weeks. We have some information on a big fighting game that is in the works. Hollow Knight Silksong, the price of it potentially has been revealed, and it is significantly lower than a lot of people would have expected. So we will be going over all of that, plus some more things. But before we do get into it, if you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit the subscribe button, share this video, hit the like button if you do enjoy the daily content. But for now, let's get into it. 2025 has been a phenomenal year for game releases and for Xbox Game Pass. We've had a consistent release of great games dropping into the service, especially over the last few months. September really is looking like it is going to be no different. There are just so many games to play. And here are three big ones that are dropping into Game Pass in September. What we know so far, and there will obviously be more, so could there be more surprises in store for us here? But we have Hollow Knight Silksong, of course, that is launching in just a few days here. Probably one of the biggest releases here in 2025, one of the most anticipated games to come out in a very long time. I wonder what kind of an effect Hollow Knight Silksong is going to have on Game Pass itself, and just how many units of this game are going to sell. I'm sure this is going to be one of the best-selling games of the year when it does end up dropping, especially if we talk about the price, which we will a little bit further on here. It looks like it's going to be very, very affordable. September 5th, you have NHL 26. If you do have Game Pass Ultimate, you actually have the 10-hour trial for all of these EA Play games that do drop. NHL 26, the new one in the series, you're going to get that 10-hour trial starting on September 5th. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor on September 17th. Frostpunk 2 on September 18th. And then on September 19th, you also have the 10-hour trial for the upcoming FC game, EA Sports FC 26. So already a very strong month. If you're looking at just the Game Pass games, those three big ones there, Hollow Knight, Deep Rock, and Frostpunk 2, all dropping into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. And this is on top of a September that is going to have a huge release schedule of games and things that have just came out in August. Of course, even the other week with Gears of War Reloaded and Helldivers 2. It's been an insane year for game releases. I think it's been one of the better years. It's the decision here is finding which games you want to play, where do you want to invest your time, because it's almost impossible to get through all of these. But I'm excited for that. I'm going to be checking out these games here on Game Pass. Obviously, Hollow Knight Silksong is one that I definitely want to check out and play. I'll play the NHL 26 10-hour trial because I do like the NHL games on a yearly basis. It's one of the sports games that I do dive into still pretty consistently. So a good month, more to play, and finding the time again is the question. A Nintendo Direct potentially is going to be happening this month. And I think this could be a very big Nintendo Direct if they are having it here in September, especially with a major game like Metroid Prime 4, which we have not got a release date yet for, but is supposed to be coming out in 2025. Nate the Hate here has leaked, put out his information about when we could be expecting a Nintendo Direct for September. It looks like it could take place around September 11th or 12th. And it has gotten these right in the past many, many times, so I would pretty much bet on this one happening. Also says that the Red Dead Redemption 2 port up for the Switch 2 is still happening, specifically saying, yes, there is a Nintendo Direct in September when the second week of the month in the latter half on or around September 11th or 12th. So the Directs have been pretty good. If you are a Nintendo fan, they are giving you lots of things to play. I think what people do want to see more of, though, right now is just what are these specific Nintendo Switch 2 launches that are coming out that are going to get you to want to go out there and buy the Nintendo Switch 2 console. Not that I think Nintendo even cares at this point, because they've already sold the Switch 2 better than the Nintendo Switch 1, and I don't think they can really ask for anything more. So the console is still selling very well. And Metroid Prime 4 is the last big one that we're waiting for that release date for 2025. If they can hit 2025 with Metroid Prime 4, you have Mario Kart World, you have Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is right now looking like a game of the year contender, and then you're going to have Metroid Prime 4. Three very strong first-party releases here from Nintendo in half of a year. I think that is actually a very good first year for the Switch 2. First launch year at least by the calendar, because you can, I guess, push that from June to June. But for 2025, I think it is extremely strong. Contrary to what a lot of people have been saying with the Switch 2 about the release, it's been good so far from their first party perspective. And then third party games dropping, there have been a ton of that. And seeing more games that were on the Xbox and the PlayStation 5 launch onto the Switch 2 is something that I think we will see more of. And you'll see people leading towards that portability factor when looking on where they can play these games that are already out there on the Xbox and the PlayStation. So we'll see how big of an effect a game like Red Dead Redemption 2, if they port that to the Switch 2, how big of an effect that will have on people purchasing it for the Nintendo console. Age verification. This is something that's it's happening. It's being pushed here. The UK laws are pushing this into effect across the different platforms. Xbox has been sending out emails, I believe, to customers in the UK to verify their age. And now Steam users and Valve are also taking part in this, falling in line with the UK law, saying Steam users in the UK will need a credit card to access mature content games. Valve has started to comply with the UK's Online Safety Act by rolling out a requirement for all the Brits to verify their age with a credit card to access mature content pages and games on Steam. And UK users won't even be able to access the community hubs of mature content games unless the valid credit card is stored on a Steam account. So in the UK, you need to be 18 years of age to obtain a credit card, so it passes the age checks onto banks instead of Valve having to perform them. So the age verification stuff is hitting here with the UK laws coming in, and I wonder what this will mean for people there. How are they going to get around it? VPNs, things like that, obviously are going to be utilized a lot. Or do they care? They're just going to put their credit card on there and be age verified because they just want to access the games. I mean, if you're using a credit card already to purchase games via Steam, you probably already have one on your account and you're probably already verified. So it will be interesting to see what kind of an effect this does have. But this is happening across all of the different platforms. You'll probably see this rolling out from more places as well. But definitely a controversy for people who are in the UK who don't want anything to do with this stuff, putting more information out there for these companies to have. Okay, Hollow Knight Silksong, we talked about this, about games coming to Game Pass. One of the interesting things about this one is I think they could sell it at almost anything they wanted, up to maybe $50, $60, like anywhere in that range. People would pick this up easily, or even at regular price. I still think this game would sell relatively well. But at the same time, we've heard articles and stories about Team Cherry taking their time on this game because it was fun to develop and they weren't pushing it out there as fast as possible to make as much money as possible. So what we're seeing here from a posting on GameStop kind of falls in line, although they have taken the post down as well. So you're not 100% sure whether this is going to be the official price and the final price when this game does launch. But if it does launch on this price, you could definitely see this game selling more copies than people would have anticipated if they would be releasing it at regular price. It says here that it's been discovered by Hollow Knight fans that Silksong has been listed on GameStop on the Nintendo Switch for just $20, $19.99. The price has prompted many to believe it's simply a placeholder because they can't understand why Team Cherry isn't charging more for one of the most anticipated games of 2025. You can see the price here, $20. The release date of September 4th. So that kind of falls in line because sometimes with placeholders, they don't have the official or the correct release date on the page itself, and they don't have a pre-order button as well with the correct date. So that does fall in line that this could be an official listing of the page. Maybe more so it's just a typo for the pricing. Instead of $19.99, maybe it's $49 or $50 or whatever. I think would be a more reasonable price if they were to sell it at that. But they have also updated this and taken down the page containing the price point. So maybe they saw it leak out there and that wasn't the actual price they wanted it to be put up at. So they had to take the page down. We will see, I guess, officially when this game does launch. What's interesting about Silksong is no review copies are going out, I don't believe. I think they said it wouldn't be fair to the backers of this game initially if they were going to send out review copies for it. So this is one of those games people have been waiting for a long time. It's dropping on September 4th. It's going to sell well regardless. It's going to do very good because of just the hype surrounding it, and I'm sure it will live up to the hype. They've taken a long time to make this game, and you could assume they're taking what they have from the first one, improving upon it. So it's going to be kind of hard for them to go completely wrong with Hollow Knight Silksong. The other thing as well with the pricing, if you do think back to the first one, it did come out with a price tag of $15. So maybe they're thinking, yeah, we will just release it at a similar price, $5 more all these years later for the sequel in the series. And it'll sell millions and millions of copies. They sold 15 million copies of the first game. I can see this one getting up to that as well. If you're a fan of Injustice 3 would be super cool to see come out. The Justice games are great superhero fighters, and it looks like it's basically been confirmed now from a voice actor. This happens a lot. Voice actors slip up and they mention something before the official announcement is supposed to happen, letting people know that a game is in development. But 2 voice actors have actually basically confirmed Injustice 3 is real and in development. And this is what they say here on Twitter. They say, yesterday, I finally met my favorite voice for Superman, George Newbern. I was telling him he's definitive as the voice for me and how much I love the game Multiverses. In response to my Multiverses comment, he told me he's currently working on Injustice 3. And that was from the user Brendan Batman. And then Newbern actually apparently replied in a comment saying that he is actually working on Injustice 3, which is basically as good of a confirmation as you get. Now, this is gone. The page has been deleted. So I guess right now it's definitely still a rumor, and take that with a grain of salt. But I wouldn't be shocked if Injustice 3 is in the works. Mortal Kombat 1, apparently they ended their post-game support, even though that game did sell and do pretty good. So that was kind of shocking. So you have to wonder, why did NetherRealm do this? Is probably to move to their next game here, put as much resources as possible into Injustice 3. So it'll be interesting to see where they take this one. I'm excited to see how Injustice 3 does end up turning out. And finally, Call of Duty are reducing the file size of Call of Duty HQ again, of the Call of Duty app, which is a good thing because that app is insane. How big it is every time you want to install something. And although you can select the certain things you do install, but they're obviously preparing for a major update, something to happen here going forward for the future of Call of Duty. But if you take a look at the file size, this is for PlayStation right now, and I'm sure this will go over to all of the other platforms, including Xbox. Call of Duty added to the database. They are taking the app size from 126 gigabytes down to 25 gigabytes here. And for that's on the PS5 and on the PS4 from 81 to 62. So something's happening. That obviously they're preparing for the next Call of Duty. The beta and everything is going to be coming out for Black Ops 7 and then the eventual release to it. And they're preparing the app, which is a good thing because it takes up so much space on your hard drive. Now you can have Call of Duty and you can have other things installed as well. But on the video there, if you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.